Valentine players from that neck of the woods coming up to play for the Phoenix this year. Brown goes across to McGinley. Looking wide, Liam Thornton getting up and above Paul McGinley. Both him and Scott brothers, they, interestingly enough, former New South Wales State table tennis champions. So they've got a lot, they've got a whole nother skill set in the table tennis arena of Paul and Scott McGinley. Matt Thompson goes to McKellar. And he's taken down late, and we got our first yellow card of the afternoon. Just check the number plate of the player that has gone into the book. Looks like it may have been Paul McGinley. It is going into the book, referee's book early on in this one. Back to Matt Trott and wide to Blake Thompson, Maitland's captain. Across the ground now with Darren Cooper. Plays it to McGinley. Wilson Edwards stabbing it down the line. Trying to hold it up again, McGinley in the middle of the park. Valentine this time through Will Cam. Goes to McGinley. Appeals for offside against Olsman. Assistant referee with the flag up and a free kick going Maitland's way. So live here on Bar TV. Almost 6 minutes gone in the first half. It's Maitland and Valentine. 0-0 here at Carl Oval. Valentine last year taking out the new FM division to be promoted into the NPL this year as Trott's goal kick goes up over halfway. They finished 8 points clear in the 20 matches played. 8 points clear of their nearest rival, Valentine, Lake Macquarie. They beat them 4-0 late on in the season to pretty much clinch the title from their main rivals. Now looking for Olsma. Up the ground there from Darren Cooper. There's Crowell looking forward for Dean Heffernan. A little bit of a bump. He puts on Cooper. Dean Heffernan and Darren Cooper. A little bit of spite in the match already. And another free kick goes Valentine's way. McGinley taken down. Paul McGinley on that occasion. Ball brought wide now for Chris Brown. Back to Burrell. He chips it over the top, looking for Brown. Olsma. Plays it back to Serapis. Looking forward and couldn't find his man. Now with Brock Oakley. Ryan Broadley trying to hold off Cooper. Couldn't do so. Throw going Valentine's way. First of two matches today in the NPL. Later on this afternoon it will be Adamstown taking on Hamilton at Darling Street Oval. A 6 p.m. kickoff there for Hamilton's first match at home this season. Ball into the middle, McGinley. Played 22 matches last season for Valentine, scored 20 goals, so a very good strike rate for the Phoenix's captain. Here's Brown with the throw. Knocked away towards Cam. And Broadley with a little break here for Maitland, but his pass just didn't have enough behind it. In the end, they do get away through Matt Thompson. Brings it across to the near side, but it holds up on the pitch, and Burrell looks long. It looks to be too deep, and Matt Trott gobbles that one up. Maitland last season finishing 8th with a far superior squad this year than what they had last year. In 2015, they didn't have nearly as much experience as what they've got out there in 2016. As Ryan Broadley taken down, a free kick goes Maitland's way. And Reese Pettit is going to go into the book, and that's really silly from Reese Pettit. Throwing the ball into Comerford's head. It's only 18 years of age, Reese Pettit, and came from the Jets 18s. Just a needless yellow card there for the Valentine defender. And it's going to be Matt Crowell who's going to stand over this one for Maitland. Crowell whipping it in towards the back post. Carl Thornton was there. A very good head on him. Carl Thornton scored a very powerful header against Edgeworth last season. Brown heads it away. Thompson getting in there as well. Matt Thompson still on the ball. And another free kick goes Maitland's way. This in even close position, just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Big chance for them now. It's going to be Matt Crowell again that's going to take it. 31 years of age, Matt Crowell. And another player on the pitch that's come up from the Central Coast. And here is Matt Crowell. Hits it looking for the top corner, and Matt Crowell with a stunning free kick puts the visitors ahead. And Maitland leading 1-0. After just 11 minutes here at Carl Oval. And Matt Crowell with his first goal of the season. Signed a short-term contract for the Mariners and also had stints in the Welsh youth Welsh youth side. So he's got a lot of quality, Matt Crowell. Showed it right there with a pinpoint free kick. Maitland with their first goal of the season. Reese Pettit now. Valentine for the second week in a row. They'll have to come from behind. Wilson Edwards with the throw now. Turned over again for Maitland here. Matt Thompson down the far side of the ground. Getting around Wilson Edwards. Turns around and goes back to the middle for Crowell. Diving in, Crowell didn't get the ball. In towards the middle. Knocked to a clear by Carl Thornton. Maitland's defence is going to be very hard to breach this year. Carl Thornton, Liam Thornton, and Brock Oakley, the three cornerstones of Western's defence last year coming across. Western only conceded 26 goals in the regular season last year, which is equal second in the competition. Edgeworth, Lambton and Hamilton conceding 22. And then Magic and Western with 26. Chris Brown going back towards Burrell. Liam Thornton now. Straight to Burrell now for Valentine. Liam Thornton off the side of the boot towards the middle of the ground. Now for McGinley. Bringing it wide, sitting up nicely for Serapis. Just on the edge of the 18. Still with Alex Serapis, whips it in towards the back post. Really good chance here for Valentine. Cleared off the line by Carl Thornton. And his brother knocking it up the line towards Jai McKellar and over the sideline. Plenty of space over there. Carl Oval, a very big ground. Lakes, home of Lakes United in the real NRL, and also Belmont in the Newcastle District cricket season. This is whipped in, back post, and Serapis puts his header wide, so they're not short of chances here, the Phoenix. Maitland offering plenty. Interesting stat last season. 13 of the 15 points Maitland grabbed in 2015 came when they didn't concede. The only matches they got points out of where they did concede was a 2-2 draw with South Cardiff in round 1 and a 1-1 draw with Charlestown in round 16, both away matches. So Maitland stats don't bode well when they concede. Ball down the line now for Dean Hefner, but you suspect that'll change this year with that defensive back line they have got this year. Brown throwing down the line and looking for Cam. It sits up now for Cooper. Finds Olsmer, flicks it on towards Serapis. Brock Oakley puts his boot through that one. Chris Brown goes up and wins the free kick. Here's Chris Brown to Cooper. Back to McGinley. Looking wide for his brother Paul. And Liam Thornton does the mopping up at the back over the sideline. Wilson Edwards going to take the throw for Valentine. "16 minutes gone. The visitors, Maitland, leading Valentine 1-0. Just got an offside against Valentine there. Free kick for Matt Trott. Watching here on Bar TV. And a reminder, Top Better this year is Bar TV's major broadcast partner for the winter sports season. So get involved in the fantasy competition, which is throughout all the winter sports this year in Newcastle. So great to have them on board in 2016. Darren Cooper with the header. Olsmer knocks it wide to McGinley. Lovely little touch to Cam. Back towards the middle for McGinley. Just couldn't get through Blake Thompson, who blocked his path. Wasn't impressed. There, Paul McGinley with the block. Now Dean Heffernan holding that up. Reece Pettit there. Little chip over the top looking for Comerford. Holds up. Just inside the line there for Matt Comerford. Knocks it back to Crowell and just getting control there, Matt Crowell, and runs past him, and now with Serapis. Cooper. Back to Chris Brown. His ball is poor, straight to Matt Thompson. Broadley. Still Broadley, back to Thompson. Holds it up and goes back to Broadley. Now for Heffernan. Back for Comerford, who has an effort from long range. And Heffernan goes into the book again. Second week in a row for Dean Heffernan. Crowd appreciative of that. And it's Valentine's captain who's on the ground, Scott McGinley. Doesn't look too good. So Dean Heffernan will need to watch himself in coming weeks. Second yellow card in 2 games for him and for the remainder of this one. Played Dean Heffernan. Still not impressed with the referee's decision. He played at centre-back for Bankstown in the Sydney NPL last season. Playing up front this year, Maitland lost a few forwards, notably Ryan Clark, who's suspended. A lot of it was made of that in the media, and Ben Martin, who has been injured. He's came off the bench last week, Ben Martin. He was the hero of the 14 season for Maitland when they were promoted. Scored a ton of goals that year. Here's Liam Thornton to McKellar. Wilson Edwards comes from behind but wins the ball. McKellar gets back up. Throw for Valentine. Wilson Edwards. A little 1-2 there with Olzema. Ricochets back to Pettit. Now with Brown. Pettit looking across the ground for Serapis, but he didn't get enough behind it, and it sits up for Brock Oakley. Plays it to Matt Thompson. McGinley just couldn't get there in time. Thompson chipping it over the top. Finds Heffernan. Wilson Edwards clips him. No yellow card for Wilson Edwards. Not sure how pleased Dean Heffernan will be with that, but he hops up, has a little chat to the ref again. Matt Crowell again standing over it for Maitland. Goal in the 11th minute. Whips it in towards the middle of the box. And Wilson Edwards puts it over. It'll go now a corner kick. We've got another Valentine player down. Is it? I'll check who it is. It's Reece Pettit who's down. A little bit of spite in this one, and referee's going to go and have a chat to Matt Thompson. It's 21 minutes gone. Maitland leading 1-0. Here at Carl Oval. Valentine at home. Little 1-2. Comerford playing with McKellar there on the short corner. Still with Comerford. Knocks it over towards Carl Thornton. It sits up for Crowell, who has a spectacular effort. No one's almost gone into the bowling club. Almost in the front door there. And Amarco will just have a goal kick. So Amarco goes out to Pettit. Goes across to Paul McGinley. A little touch over the sideline from Liam Thornton. Interestingly enough for Liam Thornton, he marked Reece Thompson, who's Maitland's assistant coach, in the 2009 Grand Final. Reece Thompson scored that day. And that was when he played for Lakes, Liam Thornton. And Maitland, Reece Thompson was playing for Maitland. Maitland took out the grand final that year in 2009. That was in the New FM division. Not sure what it was called back then, whether it was New FM. Liam Thornton regarded by many as a top bloke at Maitland. Here's a little bit of push and shove on the ground again. There is a lot of tension in this game. The referee's got to keep control of it. Reece Pettit. And now Cooper. Here's McGinley getting involved as well. Wilson Edwards. And Matt Thompson. That's a tough one as a referee when you've got this kind of tension between both the sides out there. It's only a few players, but need to pull their heads in. It's probably the more experienced players out there for both Maitland and Valentine. Need to show the way here for the younger players out there as Brown knocks it down the line. Brock Oakley. Many thought a handball. It definitely sounded that way. And here we go. Well, this is not good at all. Dean Heffernan and a few Valentine players. Well, this is awful. These are awful scenes here. Well, what is going on? We've got a red card. Wilson Edwards has been sent off, and so has Dean Heffernan. Straight red card each. And that is disgusting behaviour, to be honest. So Wilson Edwards has been sent off, and so has Dean Heffernan. And this is really, really bad. Maitland with a 1-0 lead. They're both walking off together. Wilson Edwards kicking out at Heffernan while he was on the ground. And they're both going to have an early shower. And they both deserve one after that. Reece Thompson's there on the sideline trying to cool things down. He's going to have it. And Wilson Edwards. Darren Sills, Matt Thompson saying, let's just play the game. Exactly the right thing to do. I haven't seen anything like that on a field before, and that was just atrocious behaviour. And going on that footage, both of those two players could get more than just a week. And Blake Thompson and Scott McGinley are having a chat to the referee, just being told, just keep it down for the remainder of this match. And it's going to be a free kick to Valentine. I still don't understand what Wilson Edwards was doing there. So free kick goes to Maitland, and I hope we never see that again on the field in the NPL this season. Not sure who. There's McGinley coming over now to the side and speak to Darren Sills. Scott McGinley, he was the hero last year for Valentine, and both him and Blake Thompson having a chat about what is going on out there. And it's going to be a Marco with the goal kick after all of that. A waste of time, really. 26 minutes gone here on Bar TV. And it's Valentine down at home, 1-0 to Maitland, and it's going to be 10-on-10 for the rest of the game. So at least it's going to be an even contest. It was just bubbling for about the last 10 to 15 minutes. Here's McGinley. Now to Burrell. Here's Brown. Oh, and here we go. Matt Crowell now getting involved. Utter stupidity. Utter stupidity from Maitland's number 12 now. He just needs to calm it down as well. And he goes into the book now. Little shove on Darren Cooper, I think it was. Didn't quite see it, was off the ball. And Valentine with a free kick. I understand there's a lot of competitive juices flowing out there, but both sides still need to cool it. Matt Thompson not impressed at all. As here's Brown. Back to McGinley. Stabs it forward and over the top. Matt trots there. It sits up for Cooper. Sits up for him again. He tries to knock it over the top. A really good effort from Darren Cooper. Reece Pettit says well done. And Matt Trott was equally brilliant there with a couple of saves. Here's Matt Trott getting right under one up over halfway. Cooper with the header. Sits up for Liam Thornton and knocks it up the ground. Reece Pettit goes away to Thompson. Still Matty Thompson on the ball. Knocking it wide to Matt Comerford. And it's just gone over his head and over the sideline. And here's Brown, goes to Burrell. Reece Pettit. Plenty of space in front of him, Reece Pettit, without Dean Heffernan out there up the front for Maitland. You'd expect maybe a reshuffle from Steve Piggott. He was playing up front as a lone striker. Dean Heffernan. Matt Thompson. Wide to Liam Thornton. Pettit getting down there on the ball. He looks for Olsmer up the front. Valentine probably with the best chances in this match. And Maitland through Crow with the free kick in the 11th minute ahead. So here's Burrell on the ball. Back to his captain, McGinley. Burrell. Again, Reese Pettit. Wide for Paul McGinley. Going to chip one over the top, looking for Olsman, but Carl Thornton's there. Saved a certain goal off the line in the opening moments of this one. Opening 15. Here's Pettit. Burrell. Runs down for Brock Oakley. Now Blake Thompson on the ball. Stabbing it forward towards Matt Thompson. Reese Pettit gets a foot in. And now it sits up for Cooper. Still Darren Cooper on the ball. Another player from the Central Coast competition, Darren Cooper, for Valentine this year. He also owns a successful hairdressing salon. He's got plenty of hair, Darren Cooper, as well, as this one's whipped in towards the middle of the box. It sits up over the top, and it's Brenton Olsmer who raises the roof here at Carlover with a beautiful volley. And it's 1-1. Matt Thompson in the middle. Broadley now on the ball. Plenty of entertainment in this match, and Valentine probably looked the better of the two sides, which is quite incredible going on the plays each side has got. Here's Olsmer. He's got some space again. He plays it wide to Cam over there, but just couldn't quite get enough on the pass. It'll be a throw for Valentine. More and more pressure being applied to Maitland. Here's Reese Pettit. Intercepted by Matt Comerford. Looking towards Broadley. McGinley's there. Grass fairly long out there here at Carl Oval. The ball holding up a lot off it. The surface. Here's Olsmer. Being held off by Thompson. Plays it wide to Cam. And intercepted by Matt Thompson. Wily skills there from Maitland 17. Number 17 today. McKellar goes down. Free kick goes Maitland's way. Matt Crowell's going to take it. Good to see he's cooled down after that yellow card. After the two send-offs. Wilson Edwards sent off, and Dean Heffernan as well for Maitland and Valentine. And Comerford's ball straight over the byline. Just couldn't get it across and into the box, and Marco will just have a goal kick. And here's Reese Pettit. Brings it to Cooper. So Brenton Olsmer moments ago. Second goal of the year. He seems to be a great buy for Valentine from Edgeworth. He was one of the important players for Edgeworth in their title run last year. He scored 6 goals in his 20 matches for Edgeworth. That shows you how important he was regarded by Damien Zane. They only played 21 matches last year, Edgeworth. The 18 and then the 3 finals. So he played 20 of the 21, Brenton Olsmer. He won the penalty in the grand final, which Brennan Hamill put away and put them ahead 1-0. Here's Matt Comerford slaloming in and out of Valentine defence. And here's Thompson sending Jai McKellar on a run. He's onside, Jai McKellar. He's going to go one-on-one with a Marco. They bring him down, surely. Well, that is just brilliant defending from the Phoenix. I thought surely Jai McKellar was going to score there, but Valentine just too strong at the back, and Reese Pettit now. Just a great tackle. Here's McGinley. Wide to Serapis again. McGinley. Darren Cooper. Back to Brown. Still Brown on the ball. Plays it back to Pettit. Missed the match last week, Reese Pettit, but he's back for Valentine this week. Already on a yellow as well, one of the players. There's many players out there on a yellow already in the first half. Here's Serapis. He's got Olsmer in the middle again. Towards the back post, Liam Thornton knocks it towards the sideline. Unable to run that one down. Another throw for Valentine. .34.5 gone. Valentine and Maitland locked at 1-1. Carl Oval on Bar TV this afternoon. Brought to you by Top Better, the major broadcast partner of all the winter codes on Bar TV this year. So a corner kick for Valentine. It's going to be Serapis who's going to run over and take it. Here he is whipping it in. Pettit with the header. Burrell's going to track it down just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Goes back to McGinley. McGinley. Great effort from Comerford to win the ball. He's got plenty of pace. He looks for McKellar. He's offside. Maybe if he had his time over again there, Matt Comerford, he would have kept running. He had some space ahead of him. Here's Burrell. Wide to Brown. Reese Pettit now. So it looks like Jai McKellar's gone into Dean Heffernan's role up the front now. He's playing wider on the left at the start of the match. For the red card to Dean Heffernan, he's gone more central. This ball looking through. Darren Cooper puts the pressure on Oakley. Really holding up off the serves today. Here's Broadley. Plenty of space in the middle of the park. Plenty of space out there. With only 9 outfield players, plus the goalie. Only 10 out there each, so plenty of space out here at Carl Oval. And here's Broadley running it down. Goes back to looking for Matt Thompson and Crowell as well. Now Maitland with a chance to apply some pressure. Liam Thornton. Still Liam Thornton on the ball. Just the 1 goal for Western last year. Here's Crowell. Going wide for, plays it to Comerford. Still Comerford looking for McKellar, and Burrell just gets a foot in and does well. Cooper. Here's Darren Cooper. And now a ball over the top for Olsmer, who the flag stays down for him, but he's pushed wide. Still Olsmer. Just on the edge of the 18, he goes down, and it's going to be a yellow card for Oakley and a penalty to Valentine. So a chance for Valentine to take the lead from the spot. Wasn't sure what the decision was originally. Ref didn't seem to be pointing to the spot. He was going over to issue the card, and he gave it to Brock Oakley. So the penalty for Valentine, it's McGinley. He's looking for his first goal of the season. As I said earlier, 20 goals last year. Can he put his first away in the NPL? And Matt Trott in goals. He's going to be a tough man to beat. So here he is, Scott McGinley. Oh, Matt Trott with a Schwarzer-esque save there. With the right hand. Brilliant save. And is that a turning point in this match for Maitland? They really haven't been able to put their foot to the accelerator in the opening half at all. It's been all Valentine, but Matt Trott proves his worth in one heroic effort there. Matt Comerford now. Here's Comerford. This could be a big moment. Comerford looks wide for Broadley. It's just a little bit too high for him. Couldn't control, and Amarco knocking it Up the ground towards Cam, who is unable to keep it in, and a throw will go the way of the Magpies. Huge moment there for Matt Trott. He was the man of the match last week, the Dustman House man of the match in the live game we did at Cook Square Park last Sunday. And I tell you what, he'll go a fair way to getting man of the match in this one as well if he pulls off some more fine saves. Here's Cooper. Wide now for Reese Pettit from Amarco. To the middle of the ground for McGinley. Didn't do much wrong with the penalty. It was just an outstanding save from Matt Trott. And Brock Oakley will breathe a sigh of relief as he heads that ball to Comerford. That penalty he gave away didn't come to anything broadly. Little ball through for McKellar. He's got Matt Thompson wide. Matt Thompson down the left edge of the box, hits it first time and puts it onto the police truck. Here's Reese Pettit. Playing it wide to Cam. Looking for Olsema down the line. He's got more space than more pace than Blake Thompson, I should say. And the cross just over the head of Serapis. Little back heel. Trying to get around Brock Oakley. Oakley finds Crowell in the middle of the ground. Scored the opening goal for Maitland. Then went into the book for a yellow card, and since then, he's done what he's done, what he does best. He's played some great football. This ball down the line now for McKellar. Here's Broadley. Looking towards the middle of the ground for McKellar. Marco unsure of what to do. Reese Pettit dives in and wins the ball. Here's Cam with Cooper. Tries to play a 1-2. Blake Thompson will get there first. Carl Thornton back to trotting goals. Some pressure from Olsema there on Blake Thompson. And now Matt Trott will go up the ground. Finds Matt Thompson. Well-placed ball there from Matt Trott. Crowell. Now for Comerford. Still Matt Comerford on the ball. Goes to Matt Thompson. Matt Thompson one-on-one with Amarco. And Amarco makes an equally as good a save as Matt Trott did moments ago on the penalty. That's impressive. And now with Cooper. Plays it wide to Olsema. Now Chris Brown. 1-2 with Burrell. And now it's with Burrell. Now with Reese Pettit. Burrell back to Pettit. And that ball over the sideline. Throw now for Maitland. 43 minutes gone, just a couple minutes of regulation time before the break. Still 1-1. Both sides with some great chances. Penalty saved by Matt Trott, and then Matt Thompson with a massive chance to put Maitland ahead. And what a save it was from Bayan Amarco in goals. Represented Kazakhstan at under-16s level. He showed that quality right then and there with an awesome save. Ball played wide there for McGinley. Looking for Olsen, trying to cut it in. Carl Thornton's there first. He goes to Matt Thompson. Back to Thornton. Chipping it up the ground and looking for his brother Lane, but that one goes over the sideline. Reese Pettit goes to McGinley. Scott McGinley, the captain. And his ball over the top. So both sides just looking a little fatigued here before the break. But Matt Comerford now with some space in front of him. He's got Ryan Broadley there as well, but he cuts inside. He's got Matt Thompson on the far side of the ground. He goes to him instead. And Thompson goes first time towards the middle of the ground for Broadley, who is offside. Valentine going to play on quickly. Brown. Now with McGinley. Back to his brother Paul and then to Reese Pettit. Paul McGinley goes to Olzema. He turns it over straight to Matt Thompson, who's looking for Jai McKellar. Burrell's getting back. Still Jai McKellar. Can he strike a big blow before half-time? He just can't get enough power behind the shot. And Amarco makes the save. Too easy for him on that occasion. Brown. Thinking at the back end of the second half, both sides will be very fatigued with just a 10-min out there. Substitutions could have a huge impact today. Scott McGinley thought there was a handball. Thompson and Paul McGinley clattered into each other in back play, and now with Darren Cooper. To the middle of ground for McGinley. Cooper into the back of Crowell, and now Matt Comerford. Some space in front of him, looking for McKellar. Reese Pettit intercepts. From McGinley to McGinley again. Looking for Brown. He found Alex Serapis instead. And Brock Oakley. He's got some space in front of him. Jai McKellar in the middle. Brock Oakley goes to McKellar. Plays a 1-2. I don't think he's going to have the pace to run that one down. Reese Pettit gets around. Over the sideline. A throw for the Phoenix. So we tick over towards half-time, and that is half-time at Carl Oval. And it is Valentine, the home side, locked with the visitors, Maitland, at 1 goal apiece. We're going to take a break for half-time, and we'll be back in a few moments' time for the second half. Hello and welcome back for the second half action here at Carl Oval. Valentine up against Maitland in round 2 of the Northern New South Wales NPL. And the first half, it was very entertaining. 2 goals and 2 near certain chances denied by both keepers, I should say. And 2 red cards as well. Wilson Edwards for kicking at Dean Heffernan on the ground. It was awful to watch. And Dean Heffernan as well for getting engaged in a little bit of conversation with a referee earlier in the game and later on. But we'll get underway in the second half. Just bubbling throughout the first half. The goal scorers, it was Matt Crowell who got the visitors off to a great start 11 minutes in with a free kick into the bottom corner from the left edge, left-hand side of the 18, just on the edge of it. And he put it into the bottom right corner, bending down and in. And then Brenton Olsema, who's on the ball now, a lovely little volley over Matt Trott's head. And then Matt Trott with an awesome save. It was probably one of his best ever. Mark Swartz alike. Exactly the same end, exactly the same movement to his left. Big right hand up and pushed it away. The penalty from Scott McGinley, unable to get on the board in the goals count for Valentine this year on that occasion. And then Matt Thompson had an awesome chance to put Maitland ahead. He couldn't do so as it's played wide now. On the near side, it's a change for Valentine. It's Ridge Marpu who's come onto the ground. There's Paul McGinley. Whips it in towards the middle. Almost sits up for Ridge Marpu, who scored last week. Still Marpu, he goes down. And it's going to just be a goal kick. Goal kick for Matt Trott. Try and check who has come off. Looks to be Will Cam. Will Cam, yep. It's Will Cam who has come off the ground for Valentine. Ridge Marpu going on. Scored last week, as I said, against Charlestown. And that 2-2 draw. Darren Cooper goes to that man, Ridge Marpu. Liam Thornton picks his pockets and goes down the line. Back to Carl Thornton. Still Carl Thornton on the ball. Back to Liam Thornton. Goes up the line looking for Jai McKellar. Who holds it up. He's got Ryan Broadley coming through. Just couldn't get it to him. McGinley plays it straight to Matt Thompson. Goes wide for Broadley. Broadley. Down this near side of the ground. Down to the corner. And will be a corner kick for Valentine. Matt Thompson now on the ball. Puts it in with his, goes back on his left. Crowell. Stabbing it towards Carl Thornton. Chipping it back towards the middle. Reese Pettit with the header away, but only as far as Crowell. Plays it wide to Thompson. Plays it across the face. Looking for Liam Thornton. Couldn't get his head to it. Turning on the ball is Josh Swadling, who's also come on for Valentine. Another change for them. Now Darren Cooper. Still Darren Cooper. Plenty of space ahead of him. Goes back to Swadling. It's under and looking over for Olsema. Olsema goes down. Brock Oakley winning the ball fairly on that occasion. Comerford. Out of Jai McKellar. Love little 1-2 with Jai McKellar. Matt Comerford runs into Reese Pettit. And it's going to be just a free kick going Maitland's way. Reese Pettit's down. He's saying he stood his ground. Matt Comerford ran into him, but the referee disagreed. Reese Pettit also already on a yellow. So, and that was a really silly yellow in the opening moments of the game. Reese Pettit just with a little movement out of his original position, which was in Comerford's way. Here's Crowell. Down the middle of the ground, Pettit just knocking it away to Mapu. Another man who has come off for Valentine is Alex Serapis, who's come off. Josh Swadling's gone on. And Josh Swadling, interesting enough, another Central Coast competition player. And he doesn't attend training or the games as much as he would like to, as he works for Jetstar as a flight attendant. There's Matt Comerford knocking it in towards the middle. Ryan Broadley sits it up for McKellar, who goes down. Chris Brown getting in and the ball wide. Now with Crowell, goes back to Matt Thompson. Been turned over and now running away is Scott McGinley. Plenty of time for Scott McGinley. Goes across the ground looking for Swadling. Brock Oakley's there to knock it back to his keeper, Matt Trott. Now with some space, Brock Oakley down the right flank. Goes to McKellar. Back to Ryan Broadley. 17 games last year for Ryan Broadley. 4 goals now, McKellar. Up and over the top, Reese Pettit gets in front of him and wins the ball. And now with Paul McGinley. Number 13 for the Phoenix. Back to his brother Scott and then back to Paul. Now Burrell, does beautifully. There's Alex Burrell. Evade the challenge of Broadley. And now with Swadling. He's got some pace trying to get around Brock Oakley. Wins the ball again. Brown knocks it towards the middle. Olsma trying to flick it wide for Ridge Mapu. Didn't quite get there. Now McKellar goes down and wins the free kick for Maitland. Taken quickly by Maitland and Ridge Mapu's onto it. Tried to play wide for Olsma. Carl Thornton getting in again. Outstanding player, isn't he, Carl Thornton? Matt Thompson just goes about his work. Again today, he saved 1 goal off the line. Carl Thornton. And now Burrell and Ryan Broadley. Broadley goes down and wins the free kick. Not sure if I agree with that decision there. Ryan Broadley looked like he just fell over and free kick goes Maitland's way. Oakley to Crowell. Carl Thornton. And Ridge Mapu wins the ball. Play on for Valentine now with Ridge Mapu. And brought on, you'd think, to add a bit of spark to their attack. Got plenty of pace, as we've seen already, as here's Swadling. Down the left edge, no one committing at the moment. And not his best effort, Josh Swadling, putting that one probably half in between a cross and a shot, and he really made a meal of it. So goal kick for Matt Trott. 8.5 minutes gone now in the second half. Still locked at 1-1. Brenton Olsma and Matt Crowell, the goal scorers. A reminder, 10 on 10 at the moment. Dean Heffernan and Wilson Edwards from Maitland and Valentine respectively off the ground in a scuffle in the first half. Carl Thornton now. Now with Trott. Reese Pettit just in front of Jai McKellar with the header. And back to Marco. Both coaches of these two sides have a connection to Western. As we see the free kick going to Valentine. They're going to try and play it on. They're going to hold it a little bit. Darren Sills, the assistant for Western last year, Valentine's coach this season in 2016, and Steve Piggott for Maitland. He was the premiership winning coach, the minor premiership winning coach, I should say, in 2014 for Western. They went down in the grand final to the Lambton Jaffers, coached by Dave Tancheski that year. Not back in 2016 for the Jaffers, Dave Tancheski. And they'll be on Bar TV tomorrow in the live match against Broadmeadow Magic. That should be an absolute cracker. It's McGinley. Goes to his brother. Scott McGinley down the line. Cuts it back in the middle, and Matt Trott's there. Just in front of Olsma, now Comerford. Still Matt Comerford going over the top. Ryan Broadley. The Ryan Broadley, well, hang on a sec. They've given the goal to Maitland. The referees award it. The flag went up. The flag went up from the sideline official, but Broadley was onside. He's given Jai McKellar was offside. Broadley wasn't. He scored. Well, so it's been given as a goal to Maitland. The flag went up from the assistant, and all the Valentine players stopped. And Ryan Broadley, the referee, yes, it's been given as a goal. Ryan Broadley was onside. It was Jai McKellar who was offside for Maitland. Utter confusion here at Carl Oval. But the decision comes back to the on-field referee. If he doesn't want to go with the assistant's decision, he doesn't have to. And Scott McGinley is not happy, but the flag definitely went up from the assistant. He raised it too early there. And now Paul McGinley. Valentine are going to have to overcome that now. Scott McGinley. And in the end, that's the Valentine players for stopping, but the assistant referee shouldn't have raised his flag that early. It's unfortunate, but that is what happens sometimes. We saw a goal in the A-League similar to that earlier in the year. Melbourne City and Western Sydney Wanderers down at Melbourne. Pia Vakari scored in similar circumstances where all the Melbourne City players stopped, and he put it into an empty net from memory. Very similar to what happened there. This is Scott McGinley. That's straight down the throat of Matt Trott. So the referee, on-field referee, probably making the right decision on that occasion. Comerford going up and over the top to Thompson. When you're trained to stop when assistant referee puts his flag up, it makes it tough. You do it 99% of the time. Is this into the middle? McKellar with a chance. He puts it wide. Chance to sink the game for Maitland there and make it a 3-1 lead. Well, this game has had so much drama. 2 awesome saves. 3 goals, 2 of which in the first half and 1 just a moment ago. And then the 2 red cards. Matt Thompson now. And here's Chris Brown going back. He's got Matt Comerford putting pressure on him. Marco goes wide to McGinley. Paul McGinley. Back to Scott McGinley. Been a lot more of an even contest in the second stanza of this one. Valentine really dominant in the first half. They only had the 1 goal to show for it. Here's Reese Pettit looking towards the middle. He picks out his opposite number, Carl Thornton. And here's Darren Cooper with the interception. Dodges around Matt Thompson. He's wide on the left. In towards the middle, Blake Thompson with a powerful header away. Ryan Broadley's touch wasn't his best. In the end, they do well. Maitland and knock it away. Jai McKellar going to keep it inside and winning the free kick. Reese Pettit not impressed. Liam Thornton to take it. Back to Crowell. Carl Thornton. Hasn't had as much of an impact today, Matt Crowell, as he did last week against Hamilton. Blake Thompson now. Up and over the top. This should set up for a marker, and it does. Valentine probably be disappointed with their defence. 4 goals now conceded this season. Just over 1.5 matches. So they'll probably look to remedy that during the week, but they're going to look to score goals now. Ridge Marpu. Carl Thornton. For once, he probably didn't make the right decision, but he gets back and mops up for Maitland now with Brown. Still Chris Brown on the ball. Blake Thompson with a great interception. This is straight to McKellar. McKellar's got Matt Comerford. He's got plenty of pace, but he's been out there the majority of this match, 60 minutes. And he's fatiguing at the back end, you'd think, with only the 10 men out there for each side. I think the amount of yellow cards out there, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see another red card. Reese Pettit, who plays the ball across the ground, not his best ball. He sailed fairly close to the wind. Here's Burrell. The ball now back for Swadling, who cuts inside Blake Thompson. There's Josh Swadling. He plays it to Olzema, and Brenton Olzema finishes. He's unstoppable this year. 3 goals in 1.5 matches. Brenton Olzema again for Valentine. And it's all locked up again at 2-2. Just over 16.5 gone in the second half. And Valentine, they got what they deserved there. Very even contest. And it's back at 2 apiece. Brenton Olzema with his 3rd of the season. I think he's going to make his mark at Valentine this year from what we've already seen in 2 outings. Here's Oakley, stabbing one over the top, Broadley. Didn't quite get to it. Back to Broadley again. Little one over the top looking for McKellar. Burrell's there. He only goes as far as Matt Thompson. Back to Broadley. Really enjoyable contest, this one. Apart from the scuffle midway through the first half, it's been a really good contest. Burrell goes to Marpu. It's been very good since he's come on and wins the free kick over near the touchline on halfway. I think many would have thought that Maitland would get the job done here today over the newcomers to the NPL. But Valentine have stood up and shown today why they are going to be up there and challenging this year. Played a really nice style attacking Maitland. Putting some pressure on them. This ball wide now for Paul McGinley with some space. Stabs it towards the middle of the box and Matt Trott goes up. But Maitland, that loss for them. Look at those 2 players that got sent off. Dean Heffernan sent off. That is a huge loss. Wilson Edwards at the back for Valentine, easily sort of covered for them. Paul McGinley dropping back and doing the job for them. As he is Darren Cooper. Goes towards Olzema. Carl Thornton. Two players who did battle last year, Edgeworth and Weston, in some great contests. Back again for their new clubs in 2016. Darren Cooper goes across to Chris Brown. Goes towards Scott McGinley now. Back to Darren Cooper. So Valentine just controlling things since they've scored. Reese Pettit to Paul McGinley, who turns it over. Paul McGinley with 6 goals from 20 appearances last year. His brother with 20. Scott a lot more central than his brother Paul. And here he is, Scott McGinley. Could have had one today if it wasn't for an almighty effort from Matt Trott, saving the penalty. Matt Thompson. Liam Thornton now. Back to Matt Crowell. Wide to Liam Thornton. Back to Jai McKellar. 9 goals in 5 matches in the preseason for Jai McKellar. And joined another player that joined from Western. He was at Maitland last year for their first season back in the top flight, but Western before then. Here is Jai McKellar. Goes back to Matt Crowell. Finds Matt Thompson straight to his feet, but Scott McGinley's there. Scott McGinley getting away, but Thompson's still on his coattails. McGinley's been cleaned up, and he wasn't in a good way, McGinley. He's going to hop back up. He went to Mapu. Mapu cutting inside. Plays it wide, probably put a lot on that. Ridge Mapu, is it going to hold up? It isn't. And Swaddling unable to keep it inside. Matt Thompson just having it being spoken to by the referee after cleaning up Scott McGinley, who was not impressed. And now he's having a chat to the referee. Here's Matt Crowell diving in with Zolzema on his opposite number. Didn't win the ball, Carl Thornton. Wide to Blake Thompson. Brock Oakley. Oh, he throws down Ridge Mapu. Well, what was going on there from Brock Oakley? Gives away the free kick, which he'd won. And now Ridge Mapu with some space, and Brock Oakley's caught out of position. Still Ridge Mapu trying to get in the box. Cleared away by Carl Thornton again. Once again, going about his work. He doesn't whinge. Doesn't blow up at the referee. Just does what he's supposed to do, Carl Thornton. And he is an impressive player out there for Maitland. And we've got a change for Maitland. It's going to be Ben Martin who's going to come on. Jai McKellar comes off. The hero, as I said before, of the 2014 season for Maitland. And Ben Martin puts it over the sideline, and the Valentine fans give him a round of applause. I'd remember him back from when Maitland and Valentine did battle back in 2013 in the new FM division. Back to Carl Thornton. And now Liam Thornton with some pressure from Swaddling. Over the sideline. Speaking of Valentine's defence, last season, 8 clean sheets in 20 regular season matches in the new FM division. It's always hard to compare up to the NPL. So with Maitland last year, they scored a ton of goals. New FM struggled last year, so it's a big step up. They scored 3 or more goals 11 times, did Valentine last year. And only beaten twice. 3-1, they lost to Bell Swans. And a 1-0 loss to Thornton away from home. 3-1, just a 1 loss here. That was it against Bell Swans. Not much of an away trip, that one for Bell Swans. And that they were only kept scoreless once. As Marco clears it away from the danger. There's Ben Martin coming through. Here's Ridge Mapu. Chris Brown going up the line, looking for McGinley. McGinley turning on the ball. Back to Cooper. It just kept scoreless at once against Thornton away from home. So the home fans here are not used to seeing Valentine kept scoreless. And same thing again today. 2-2, just as it was last week for Valentine. The only difference in today's match is they haven't taken the lead. They've come from behind both times. And we're playing on here for Maitland. Ben Martin up front. Not as much pace as Jai McKellar. There's Ben Martin now, knocking it into the head of Reese Pettit. Ricochets to Amarco. And it's going to be a corner kick. So the assistant on the far side not endearing himself to the home fans here at Valentine. A contentious call when Ryan Broadley scored for Maitland their second goal of the afternoon to put them back ahead 2-1. Matt Crow comes from the ground for Maitland. And going on for them is Noel Juma. And Noel Juma goes on, who came across from Adamstown Rosebuds for Maitland this year. Going onto the ground. And a throw going Maitland's way. This one whipped towards the middle of the box. Ben Martin diving for the header. Just couldn't get to it. McGinley. Forward for Mapu. Him and Brock Oakley have had an interesting duel in this second half. So 2 changes each now. Valentine made them early in the half for Maitland, making them both in the last few moments. Mapu back to McGinley. So just over 26 minutes gone in the second half here on Bar TV. And it's Valentine and Maitland locked at 2-2. We're going to see another change here for Maitland. Darren Cooper over to Brown. Will be Nick Russell who's going to come on, the former South Cardiff player last year. When play stops, Mapu looks for Olzima. It doesn't come at it. And a run over for a goal kick. Reece Thompson down on the sideline. We'll just find out who will come from the ground. And it will be Brock Oakley who's going to come off. He's just being found out by Ridge Mapu on that far side of late, Brock Oakley. So Nick Russell's going to go on. He's going to slot in it right back. Nick Russell scored a corner. Scored from a corner for South Cardiff in a match we did last year at Lyle-Carr Oval. One of South Cardiff's rare wins in 2015, 3-1. Darren Cooper. Noel Juma comes in. Now with Broadley to Matt Thompson in the middle. He's got some space. Still Matt Thompson. Turns away. He's got Juma with him. Goes to Comerford. Comerford looking over the top for Thompson, who gives away the free kick. A little bump on Valentine's captain, Scott McGinley. Not the first time this afternoon. I think having a little chat again about the collision about 5-10 minutes ago. McGinley and Valentine on the attack when Thompson clattered him to the ground. Ben Martin almost getting his foot to it. Liam Thornton. Ryan Broadley now. Goes to Blake Thompson, who's come up from the back. Still Blake Thompson. Plays it wide towards Comerford. And Chris Brown. Well, I think Matt Comerford thought Chris Brown was going to come and intercept. In the end, he just let it run by. Nick Russell. Lovely ball to Matt Thompson. Burrow with a thought to be a little tug, but really there was nothing in it. Burrell. Cooper. Brown. Just puts his boot through it. And Matt Trott will come out and grab that one on the edge of his area and bring it out to Liam Thornton. So the ladder as it stands at the moment, Edgeworth up the top. And both these two sides, Maitland and Valentine, just on the 2 points with a couple of draws live at the moment. But there's still just over 15 minutes left of regulation time, so plenty of time for a winner for either of these two sides. Next week for Valentine, they meet Adamstown. We'll find out how they are travelling this afternoon against Hamilton at 6 p.m. kickoff at Darling Street. They were thumped by Magic 7-2 last week. Matt Comerford. Darren Cooper gets a boot in. And then for Maitland, they meet Charlestown City Blues, who had that 2-2 draw with Valentine. And that'll be without Dean Heffernan. And Valentine, as I said, will definitely be without Wilson Edwards next week. And I'd be very surprised if he only got 1 week for the kick on Dean Heffernan. It's ball over the top. Blake Thompson sits up for Darren Cooper. Gee, that's a good ball wide to Ridge Marpu. Nick Russell keeping pace with him, but Ridge Marpu gets around him. Still Ridge Marpu. Big chance for Valentine. Plays it back for Swaddling. Swaddling with the shot. Matt Trott with a great save. Again, Matt Trott comes to Maitland's rescue. Gee, I wonder at the end of the season how many points he is going to save for Maitland this year. A penalty, and then a penalty saved, and then that there from Josh Swaddling going across him. A great save. Here is McGinley. Cooper. McGinley. Back to Cooper again. Here's Brown. Brown playing it towards Ridge Marpu and Olsema, but it went in between the two of them. And Maitland breathed a sigh of relief. Matt Trott. Long to Thompson. A really open game, this one in the second half. And Matt Comerford, well, I think the less said about that, the better from Matt Comerford there for Maitland. Burrell. Over the top now for McGinley. Paul McGinley's got Liam Thornton. He goes to take him on. Still McGinley. Gets around Liam Thornton. Cuts it back towards the middle. Ridge Marpu was there, but Blake Thompson put his boot through it. I should say Nick Russell put his boot through it. And then a challenge from behind from Cooper on Broadley. And no card from the referee. Darren Cooper, he hasn't committed many fouls, so that may well be the first. So he doesn't go into the book for the yellow card. Maybe if he'd committed a few more, you'd think that could be the case. But referee not giving him the benefit of the doubt on that occasion. Marpu gets a bump from Nick Russell and the free kick given. He's got too much pace out there, Ridge Marpu, both for Brock Oakley and for Nick Russell as well on that occasion. As here's Marpu. Cooper. Olsema. Swaddling. Still Swaddling. He has the shot. And Matt Trott, gee, makes it look easy going low to his left. And here's Noel Zuma. Goes to Comerford. Just behind him. Looks up for Ben Martin. Chests it down to Zuma. Into the head of Burrell. They're calling handball. Diving in Burrell. Zuma holds it up. Thompson. Broadley. Oh, a little bit of a shove from Burrell. I'm not sure what that was from Burrell. And Broadley with a shove on Scott McGinley now. And referee's just going to halt proceedings again. And here's Broadley. Well, that was totally unneeded from Alex Burrell. Little push while Broadley was on the ground. And again, it just starts to bubble over again. The referee's got to get control back of this match. We saw it go this way in the first half. And here's Blake Thompson. Goes, Chris Brown trying to clear it away off the side of his boot. That could have gone anywhere. And Marco goes out to McGinley. Finds a lovely ball for Swaddling. He's got more pace than Blake Thompson. He's also got Olsmer in the middle. There's 4 Maitland players. And, gee, that's a good tackle from Blake Thompson. Keeps it inside, just inside the line. Goes to Liam Thornton. Looking for Ben Martin. He couldn't get in front of Darren Cooper. McGinley. Burrell. Goes to Cooper. That's a nice ball from Alex Burrell. And I've just put a bit too much on that, you think, Cooper. McGinley unable to keep it in. Goal kick for Valentine. He'll be disappointed with that, Darren Cooper. Good opportunity for Valentine. And we've got Valentine's final substitution. Josh Murray is going to come on. And Paul McGinley comes from the field. So Josh Murray coming from the Lambton Jaffas last year. He played just the 2 matches for them. Very strong side to break into, the Jaffas. And no goals for him. Josh Murray came to Valentine this year and played the one match. Played the one match before this last week as in round 1. It's Comerford stepping away. A little stab kick over the top, and Amarco gets out and does well. Cooper. Looks like Ridge Marpu has come over to this side of the ground now. Josh Murray going over on the left. It's turned over by Valentine. Inside the final 9 minutes of regulation time. Swaddling with some pressure on Broadley. And then more pressure on Thornton. Noel Zuma. Goes to Blake Thompson. And now with Matt Comerford. Stepping and turning and bringing it across to Ben Martin with a little back heel. Ridge Marpu clearing it away. And Ben Martin scoring the match winner in the grand final in 2014 against Valentine. And last year, he was just struggling for game time with Joel Wood, who scored 5 goals last year. Ben Martin grabbed 3. Both those two just unable to share the duties and get the job done last year. For Maitland, Ridge Marpu falls over in the sand. Back to Darren Cooper. Wide to Marpu now. So there's a little bit of history between these two sides, Valentine and Maitland, as we've seen out there today. Even with players that haven't even been playing for the two sides. Dean Heffernan, first year at Maitland, and Wilson Edwards, playing previously at Lambton and for Western last year. Here's Cooper playing it wide. That's straight to Matt Comerford, who sees an opportunity and flies straight down the middle of the ground. Matt Comerford plays it across towards Ben Martin. Can Ben Martin finish for Maitland? Plays it back to Thompson, who hits the post. Sits up for Comerford, and I don't know how he's missed. Matt Comerford, probably not an easier chance. Open goal, and he's put it over. And Valentine fans breathe a sigh of relief. And Reece Pettit's got blood. There was a little bump put in him earlier. And he's come off the ground to get some attention for that. Just coming out of his chin there. And now Zuma on the ball. Goes to Comerford. Well, he probably won't get a much easier opportunity, Matt Comerford, than that. Darren Cooper. And diving in was Broadley. who won the ball, and Valentine with the throw. Valentine bench getting involved here, and the referee looks like he's going to have a chat to the Valentine coach. He's going to have a chat to Darren Sills, Valentine coach. Here's Cooper. Goes to Swadling, who's being held by two players there. Being held by Broadley and Liam Thornton, and gives the free kick away to those two. So free kick, standing over it is Josh Swadling. It's not a bad hit from Swadling. Trot goes up. Fumbles out of his grasp, and wide it goes to Comerford. Comerford with some space in front of him again. Plenty of space. Darren Cooper trying to track back. He's got Ben Martin with him. He plays it wide to Thompson. Matt Thompson a finish for Maitland, and he's put it wide. And we've got another card here. And spilling over again. A referee trying to keep control, I think. We've got another yellow card. I didn't get the number plate, but we haven't seen a red yet. Matt Thompson putting that one with the gloves of a Marco, and a really good save from him. It's definitely a corner kick. I'm not sure why they were thinking it was going to be a goal kick. Matt Thompson's going to go over and take it. But Maitland with some late opportunity now to put the game to bed. The 2014 UFM Grand Finalists doing battle here. A lot of history. Here's a Marco. Flaps it away. And now Comerford's going to come across. And definitely a lot of tension out there. Valentine. And now it's put across for Thompson. Went down in that grand final. As I said earlier, Ben Martin with the winner, who's out there for Maitland. Which way's the free kick going to go? It's going to go to the home side. And a yellow card for Zuma. Well, is it going to be yellow? He's got the card out. No, it's going to... Oh, Pettit. It's going to be Swadling, I should say. Josh Swadling. And it's going to be a free kick to Maitland. The referee's going to pull it back. Hasn't given the mark yet for Maitland. We'll see if there's any late drama at Carl Oval. Ton of yellow cards in this match. I'll have to check the stats at the end. I haven't seen more yellow cards given out in an NPL match than what we've seen this afternoon. Nick Russell on the free kick. Maybe a little overhit. A Marco, a great effort. The 20-year-old in goals. Both goalkeepers have been impressive. As Swadling trying to flick it down. Nick Russell gets away from him. Into Thompson. Thompson with a heavy first touch. Now he cuts it back off Burrell. Marco couldn't get to it. Comerford trying to get up with the header. And now Comerford cutting it back. Reese Pettit with the header away. Darren Cooper sits up for Russell. Strikes into the back of Burrell. There've been goals, there've been cards. There's been all sorts of entertainment today here at Carl Oval. Not all of it stuff that you want to see in the NPL. And it provided some entertainment for the fans today. $10 entry fee. Definitely definitely got value for money here, the fans at Carl Oval today. And now Swadling. Liam Thornton gets in front of him. Swadling already with a yellow card to his name. Got to be careful. Well, he's got to be very careful. broadly goes to Zuma. And his ball is a shocker there. Over the sideline. 40 seconds left of regulation time. Ridge-Mapu with the throw. Back to Reese Pettit. Plays it back to Amarco. They're coming from everywhere. Matt Thompson, he clears it into Matt Thompson. And Matt Thompson's won it for Maitland, you'd think. You would not believe it. And Amarco will be devastated. In the final moments, Matt Thompson and Ben Martin with the pressure. And they're the 1%ers, that pressure at the back end of the game. And the visitors, have they stolen 3 points from Carl Oval? Here's Darren Cooper. Well, they're going to have to find something in stoppage time here, Valentine. It's Maitland again. We're going to claim a victory over the Phoenix. If they can't do something about it in these last 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time, you'd expect. Matt Trott. So Maitland with a chance to go second on the ladder. They'll be just behind Edgeworth on goal difference. Edgeworth with a goal difference of +3. Maitland with just the +1 after the draw last week at the moment. Ridge-Mapu now. Is there still some late drama to come here at Carl Oval? McGinley towards the back post. Brown with the header. I'll tell you what they'll be thinking. We've got a Maitland player down in the box. Cooper. And now to Swadling. And they've pulled up play. Got a man down in the 18-yard box. It's Nick Russell who's holding his head. The Maitland trainer's going to go out. And this could be a 3 points at the end of the season that Valentine may well look back on. 3 points where they could have maybe got a point or scored late to get all three, and that late error from Amarco, he devastated the Valentine goalkeeper. So Nick Russell just going off the back. Liam Thornton just knocks it up, as you do, to Reese Pettit. McGinley to the middle for Cooper. Tries to flick it around for Swadling. Carl Thornton puts it over the sideline. So Maitland looking for their first victory in the NPL since that 2-0 win at Hamilton last year in the final round. Here's the header just wide from Burrell. You'd think there wouldn't be much time left. There would be a little bit added on for the injury to Nick Russell. No, there hasn't been. A referee calls full time and the visitors have done the job. Maitland with a 3-2 victory away from home. And Valentine, well, I won't believe it. Bain and Marco with an error in the final moments, but take nothing away from Maitland. They were strong today. And Marco is heading down the tunnel. He hasn't shaken hands with any of the Maitland players. He's pretty devastated, I think, the Valentine keeper. But Maitland, well, Valentine you'd have to think would rue that penalty. Scott McGinley, Matt Trott with an awesome save. But here at Carl Oval, we'll just go through those goal scorers. So it was Matt Crow with a free kick. which put Maitland ahead in the first half. Brenton Olsema equalised. Maitland will put ahead 2-1, a contentious call. Assistant referee put his flag up, probably a little bit presumptuously, and it was 2-1 when Ryan Broadley put it in the back of the net. 2-2 then, Brenton Olsema grabbed his third of the season and his second this afternoon. And then in the final moments of regulation time, Matt Thompson with an opportunistic goal, charged down the goal kick from Amarco. I shouldn't say the goal kick, charged down Amarco after he was just dwelling on possession a bit too long, and scored the winner for Maitland in the 45th minute. So full time here at Carl Oval. It finished Valentine 3, Maitland 2. I should say, I'll say that again. It finished Maitland 3, Valentine 2.